We are so excited to have a guest back, a favorite of mine. I love to get to talk to young people who are on the move. Brooklyn Wittmer, welcome back. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Well, so you are just doing so many great things. I'm so excited to hear about your new music. You're already featured on K Love. Whoop, whoop, way to go.
Yes, I'm so excited. I was just so honored and surprised by that playlist ad from K-Love. It's on K-Love Fresh Sounds Christian music playlist.
So, how did that happen? Because a lot of people try to get at that place, but you did it. You did it. So,
Honestly, it was such a surprise to me. I honestly didn't know it was on there until like 2 days after the release. I was just scrolling through like my Heart Revival internet page search whatever, and I was looking through just like different links, and this came across the internet, and I was like, what? I had no idea. And it was just such a cool God thing. uh, I I'm just so honored that they chose my song. I'm an independent artist, and I don't have a label backing me, but I know the Lord is in this, and it's
mm-hmm.
so cool to see His hand already, like in the song, and just like how it's inspiring and encouraging people who listen. And so I'm just honored that they chose that song on their
Well,
playlist for sure.
I'm so excited for you. You've done a lot of really interesting things. As an actress, you've had a lot of success. Um, don't say my name. I see it come across Netflix all the time, and I'm like, "There's Brooklyn!" I'm so excited. And I haven't seen the Oblivion one yet, but I know that's a big one. I think on PureFlix, right?
Yeah. Fragment Oblivion is a thriller series by Nathan Blair, and it's on Great American Pureflix. And I was just honored to be a supporting role in that series.
That's that's
Yeah,
very very good.
yeah.
So you're in movies, you're doing TV, you're doing a lot of incredible things. You've got a song being featured on K Love. So you 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 started early, but you've also hit some success early. And I know to you it probably doesn't feel like enough fast enough. But how have you? I mean, how did God call you to do all this stuff that everybody wants to do, but you're actually doing it?
Yeah. So for me, I started at 18, and I came into the industry through a Christian conference. It's called Actors, Models, and Talent for Christ. And through that process, God called me through the verse Romans 8:28, which says, "In all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who've been called according to His purpose." And I knew that was my confirmation that God was going to lead me into the entertainment industry. And it's been a cool journey so far. I've been signed with an agency. Currently have one right now, and she's been fabulous to work with. Her name is Jade Spilka, and yeah, it's just been so cool seeing God move. And I've been a part of bands over the years on my own, just like with different styles of Christian music. Then the Lord called me 2 years ago to pursue my own music. And that was kind of like, okay, Lord, if you're going to lead me to this, like sharing my songs, I want you to take me step by step, because I don't know where you want me to go, but I trust you in this. And He continually and faithfully shows me that the journey, as it unfolds, like it just happens before my eyes. And I love that, because sometimes I'm a dreamer, and it's easy to go like thinking the bigger picture, and then almost having the expectation so high it almost hurts you. So for this journey of music, I was like, Lord, just show me the way, show me the path step by step, and I just trust you in this, because you gave me these songs, and it's meant for your glory. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just been so cool seeing God just like move through these songs, and just through the acting. And yeah, I'm just super excited to see what He does.
Well, and I like the fact that you get an idea in your head and you pursue it. I like to say, especially as Christians, you still got to do the work. You still got to, I mean, God may plan in your head to go do a movie or write a song, but I mean, I know what's involved in what you just did. I mean, you had to write the song, you had to hire people to do the music, you had to edit and edit and edit and produce and produce. So you did a lot of work to get to the point where you're at. And I know it's a long time before you get that money back because so much goes into just paying for what you did. But how important is it to get an idea and then to follow through with whatever it takes to see the idea through.
Yeah, that's really great question, because if if you feel like the Lord is opening the door for you to like walk into something with your talents and gifts, he gives you a talent and a gift to use for his glory. So if you follow into that, you find yourself seeing that his hand is in it. So like you can see that he will show you the way. And as you faithfully walk and as you faithfully try, I think sometimes we get so scared to try something. It's easy to be like, well, I'll go this far and I'll just like let the Lord do the rest. But you have to continue to like push forward and fight for those dreams and pursue that purpose that God gives you, because it's going to get hard. It's not an easy path. It looks sometimes glamorous or whatever, but there's hard days too. But the joy of knowing that you do this for the glory of God, it just keeps you going, because you're like, if you have like these gifts and talents and you enjoy what you do, he wants to give you these things to see you flourish.
Yeah.
But he wants to do it. He wants you to do it for his glory, so that regardless of what happens, even in the hard times, the valleys, he uses that to even just like let his light shine in your life. Like I know for
Yeah.
me with Part Revival, I wrote that song in a place where I feel like I needed to be revived again. Like I needed that reassurance, because I even have a line where it says, "Show me how to walk when I can't climb."
Yeah.
So, it feels like sometimes I can't even get to that next, I just can't. But he's like, you can, just let me show you. Just keep
Yeah.
trusting, keep believing. So
Yeah.
that's really what that is about for sure.
And I think that's really great because we all need a heart revival. I know one of the other songs is called Rise. Sometimes it's
Yes.
just a matter of getting back up and keeping going. So
Yep.
you're awful young to have these truths that you already understand. So what was your foundation like to be able to at 18 know God was calling you? Because a lot of people, it's way later in life that they get the revelation of, oh, there's God and maybe he's calling me for something. How did you know so early?
Well, for me, I always knew I love music. So that was like the start of my journey. I sang
Mm-hmm.
before I could talk. And that's where I knew that the Lord, yeah, it's so funny. My mom says that I sang before I could talk. So I just had a song in my heart. But it was cool because it was always in my life. Music was always in my life. And so walking into this conference, they asked us to pray over that decision, because even for them, they knew this was big for us to make that choice. It's not something you just randomly on a whim be like yes or no. It has to be a very prayerful choice, especially with their program. And so for me, I always knew the direction was going to be music and missions. So it was so cool to like have this door open for me at that age, and then have the confirmation through this verse of Romans 8:28. I just knew in my heart that God was like, this is meant for you to walk in. And
Yeah.
at that time, I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I knew I was called. So I think we have to be aware of those signs. I think we need to have our eyes opened and our hearts ready for that, to receive that, and not be afraid, because he gives us the courage and the confidence to continue to take that next step. So.
And I think sometimes it's the next step. And for anybody listening, Brooklyn's in a coffee shop, and so I hear some little people, but we just want everybody to know that's okay. She's in a coffee shop, and we had some technical problems. Okay, so now we're doing what we got to do with what we got. But
Yes.
I think sometimes the next step is the hardest. We're waiting to see God move, or we're waiting to see some big grand open door or some big sign. But sometimes it's just the next step. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes literally the next step, just being faithful in the little. We
Yeah.
forget that sometimes. Sometimes it's easy to go think big, because I know for me it's easy to go, but it's
Yeah.
like, remember that the Lord wants us to be faithful in the little,
Yeah.
every day.
Now, I've met you in several places. We've been to film festivals. We've been to a lot of different places together, and I know that the Christian film community, you have found a great deal of support within peer associations. So this is a big one, I think, because you're young to be picking the right crowd to hang out with. And I think young people want to belong. All of us do. This is not just for young people, but I definitely think for young people, especially today, want to belong to a group of something that matters. So, how important has it been for you at your age for people to see your talent and say, "Hey, come on, I want to help you"?
Yeah, so for me, like community happens when you yourself are showing kindness, being open, being vulnerable, allowing yourself to be a servant. I think sometimes we get caught up in the me perspective, but it's like if we allow ourselves to be a servant and being open to like sharing what the Lord is doing in our lives, not in a way that's like all about glorifying self, but about glorifying God, people
Mm-hmm.
notice those true characteristics and I see the fruits of the Spirit. If you are intentionally seeking the Lord daily, personally in your private life, it overflows
Mm-hmm.
and it will be showing through the way you interact with others. And so I think that you'll find those people in your life, you'll connect with them because you can tell already by the Holy Spirit like that they are also someone that really sees the beauty in you because they have it too. And maybe they don't, and maybe they want what you have. So it's like that attracts others. So I think just being like just being so available to what the Lord has daily. So like being in the Word, letting that overflow to
Mm-hmm.
others, and
Yeah.
like letting his characteristics be your guiding light.
Yeah.
It will just flow onto others. So
And how do you keep from getting distracted? Because you keep doing a next thing and it's really great things. How do you keep from, whoo, going everywhere and doing a lot of things? How do you keep focused on the right things? Because, I mean, you've got a whole world around you doing a lot of things. So how do you not get off on the wrong path?
well, I think that again, it goes back to your daily choices in life, how you use your time. And there is going to be distractions, and there's going to be things that you get carried into. Like, it's easy as a human to be like so caught up in the hoopla and stuff like that. But again, it's back to that secret place with the Lord. If you could
Mm-hmm.
just find yourself like really intentionally seeking Him, you're going to be okay. Like, you're going to be able to not be as distracted or caught up in everything if you just realize what your purpose is, why you're doing all this. Yeah, it'll just be more of, it'll give you clarity. It really will. And I think that's what it's been for me. Like, I feel like I've had more clarity if I'm truly like taking time with the Lord, and actually even in prayer during the day. It doesn't have to be like, I mean, it's
Right.
definitely important to do your separate time with Him, like just like in the secret place. But then also like just talk to Him like He's your best friend. He's going to give you the direction, and you won't always like hear it at the time you want to. But again, it comes. There's always this faithful step you have to take,
Yeah.
and the Lord will shut the door, open the door for you. So you have to just be willing to like be open, have open hands in
Yeah.
whatever direction He leads.
So let's talk about Heart Revival, the song. A lot of people need a heart revival. Our nation needs a heart revival. A lot of people feel alone and isolated, no matter the age, but certainly many in your age group for sure. How do people make that a personal cry? Say they don't really know God, they don't know who God is, and they're like, man, I need something in my life that matters. um, Maybe I'll try God. I mean, what are your conversations like with people that are like, man, I need to feel something. And so what does that look like in your conversations with people you minister to in a millennial type situation?
Honestly, I think it's just being a good listener. I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes it's easy to get caught up in like the right answer. And I've kind of thought that for myself recently. I've been thinking about how sometimes it's all of us want to have the right thing at the right time all the time. But
Yeah.
sometimes we just have to be willing to listen to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And if God gives a word, great. And if He doesn't, you were there for them, and they notice that. And I think if someone actually cares about their story and takes time for somebody, I think that means the world to a lot of people. I know it
Yeah.
means a lot to me, and I've had been a believer for a long time, but it's just like when you care, when you listen and take the time to just really like hear someone's story, and if God gives you the words, great, and if He doesn't, again, it's okay.
Yeah.
But just be willing to be a good listener. I think that's important.
I think that's so important. And let's talk about the technology part of that because, divine appointments used to be a thing. God put someone in your path and you saw them, but now, people don't look up from their phones. I get that this is where we're at, but how important is it to be available to notice a person and maybe not have the right answer, to just be able to say, hey, you matter? How important is just those conversations in everyday life?
I love that you said that because yes, it's so true. I even get caught up in my phone as well. But it's just the age that we're in. But yeah, like you said, if we could just take time for others and actually give our even ourselves time to think and like process, I think we'd be more aware of what's around us. I think we could be ministering, like you said, saying you matter or something like that. It just means something to somebody when you notice again those little things. And
Yeah.
even if you're like talking to a cashier, here at the coffee shop, let's say you could tell maybe they're having a rough day. Just be like, hey, thank you so much for like making my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Like just a little thank you,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that just means something to somebody. And so, yeah, I think I like that you said it's good to look up because I think we forget that sometimes. Get caught up
And
in our head.
and I think people crave connection, and I don't
Yeah.
think they're really picky where they get the connection. They just want to feel seen and heard. And I know that's kind of a buzzword for today. I see you, I hear you,
Yeah.
but that people do see you and people do hear you in a world that's just passing by at breakneck speed. It's like, hey, wow, somebody stop and talk to me. And you can have a great conversation in a minute
Mm-hmm.
if you just let that minute happen. And I think sometimes those lead to things, and sometimes they weren't really meant to lead to anything. They just are people connecting with other people. How important are those moments? Because I think they're critical to people feeling like they matter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love that because it's true. Like, if we would actually like allow ourselves just like see people as who they are, but know that there's more for them. I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we get caught up too in like the whole like, oh well, they chose this, so just let them be. But it's like if you are in someone's life and you want to be that encouragement, I think just always being there for that person again, being that listener, being that friend that is just there for somebody. That so if you care, it's going to be received better, and even it might not be even received well at that time, but over time they see that if you care, it's going to just touch their hearts. And so
Yeah. Yeah.
that's really part of the ministry there for
Yeah.
sure.
So, what's on the horizon for you? You're doing movies, you're doing TV shows, you're doing a series. That's a series I saw. You've released the it's a whole album, right? I mean, I guess they don't call them albums anymore.
It was just a single this time.
Two
uh,
singles, right?
well, actually I've had this is the third single that was released.
Third. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
so it's really cool to see the Lord just like using these songs to encourage people. But yeah, so with what's coming up right now, I have some more songs coming that I'm super excited to share. They're a little bit different sounds coming and different topics, but again,
Okay. Tell
always
us what they
about,
are. What are some topics?
well, uh, let's just say one might be fitting for Valentine's Day.
Ah.
Fitting for that. I'm not sure when it'll be released yet, but then there's another one too that has got a little bit more of a dance quality to it, which I'm giving you a lot of teasers, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Teasers are good. I'm
it's exciting.
interested. You've got
Yeah,
my
it's
attention.
exciting. Mhm.
That's really good. So you make those songs in a studio. I mean, how do you do that? What does that look like on okay, it's music day.
Yeah. Yeah, so I come in with songs that I've written and bring the ideas in. And I have like these voice memos that I record what I have so far. And then I have like the notes and stuff. So I go in, I show the songs that I have to my producer, and then my producer has a studio space where he makes the music, brings the music to life with the cinematic feel, because that's my vibe. I love violins. I love all the
I do
things that make you
too.
feel like you're in a movie, or like
Hmm.
you could just sit and just like let it like sink over you with the words and everything. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
But this time around, we recorded like 3 songs this past summer. And this time around, I really had to trust my producer with one of my songs, which is the dance song, the poppy song. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let you just figure out all of the fun things with the sounds, because I had the beat going, I had it figured out, but like he had the all the instruments there. So
Yeah.
I
It's
was like,
amazing now how they can produce all that in a studio.
yeah,
And I think that's great. And technology is on your side when it comes to production because there's so much that can be done in a studio now that used to have to be, a lot long drawn out, bigger thing.
yeah,
Drawn her out. I made up that, but
yep,
it's become easier. I don't get it, but I get that other people get it, and I'm happy that they do.
exactly. Yeah, it's fun. I love it.
So people can go to your website and download your songs. You've got them right there. I saw them. I listened, and so they're available. They're really great because first of all, you have a beautiful voice. It's very soothing music,
Thank you.
but the words are really great. I think we need a heart revival, and I think it's great to know that if you're going to have a revival, it starts in the heart, right?
It really does. It totally does. So it's been,
And it means you need it. And sometimes that's what's so important is being able to say, I need a revival in my heart, right?
yeah, exactly. It starts there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always excited to get to talk to you. I'm always happy about what you're doing. I love getting to say, there goes Brooklyn by on the TV. And I'm like, there she goes. And I'm glad that I know I'll see you at something because our paths tend to cross
I
at
know.
things, probably NRB in February. That'll be good. We'll try to connect, but keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing and keep keep living how you're living because it looks really great on you. And I know that you're impacting people of all generations, but your generation needs the use, and you call people up, and I think that's great.
Thank you so much, Beth. I appreciate you and your support and for just being so sweet. And I love running into you. It's
I
so
know
fun.
it's so fun. We'll have to
It's,
plan a better run in, but one of
I
these
know.
times. But we'll do that before February. But
Yeah,
I hope that your songs are really just very successful. I can't wait to hear the new ones. We'll come back around and do this again.
for sure.
But y'all go find her at brooklynwhitmer.com. Go follow her on all of her social media. She does a lot of great posts. And she's a precious soul. And I'm glad that I get to call her my friend.
I'm glad to call you my friend, Beth.
All right, everybody, have a great day. We thank you, Brooklyn, for being with us, and we're glad that we'll come back again soon. In the meantime, go write some more music and do some more movies.
For sure.
All
I'm so
right,
excited. Thank you
have a
so
great
much.
day. You
You
too. Bye
too.
bye.
Bye.